Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019, Stage Racer, episode number 37. We're at Paris-Nice, definitely one of my favorite races of the year, and we're on a fitness peak with a +3 expected race day condition because it's also one of our objectives for the year. Briefing, we opened with a roughly 25-kilometer time trial. A little bit of a climb towards the end, so we got to make sure we save some energy on this one. But with the fitness level being where it is, we could be off to a really good start. Of course, I have a slightly better time trial rating than I do prologue rating, and this one translates. Well, let's see, what's the gap? It's going to be about 80% time trial rating and about 20% prologue rating. Outside of uphill, downhill, if you get more than the 3 degrees in those sections. So, it's team! Ah, dang it. Oh, frustrating. Okay, so we opened with a time trial. Hopefully I've got team leadership status, but of course Van Avermaet is here. I would hope that he's going to be more Barreur style for this type of race, as that is his go-to chance to win, from the break or opportune times. If I do get full leadership status for this one, and we could still have a decent race here, but otherwise we're going to be in a bit of trouble. And I'm going to have to work for the team, but at the same time save myself that little bit of energy to make sure I don't get dropped. Now, recently on my career mode, had a really good team time trial, just a few seconds short of Team Ineos, and with my Continental Pro team. So if I can replicate something along those lines, then we'd be in pretty good shape. But of course, I doubt that we're going to have the strength in time trialists here. Trying to think. Team that's usually okay, decent. But looking at this group, I'm not so sure about our quality as time trialists. I'm going to immediately push 2 of the riders hard. It looks like I might have control of the full team, but you never know until we actually get started. So we're going to set everyone to 99. It looks like I have control of everyone. At the moment, we're going to go with the 10 seconds apiece. There we go. Okay, so Herman's a 71. Van Avermaet, we want to keep him off the time scale a little bit. But Herman's we can definitely use. Ron Dags is looking pretty strong today with that form, but not really good overall. Could definitely get something extra out of Ron Dags. Don't know about Frank Sack. Whoa, Paddy Bevan. Okay, fantastic time trialist. Let's get you up there a bit, because outside of the sprinting, you're definitely not going to make it towards the end. So Bevan, we want Bevan to spend a lot of time on the front, bury themselves. Inkhorn, that's not too bad of a rating, but let's shorten you down a little bit. Alright, so I'm taking a turn on the front right now. And right now we're looking actually really good. We're 4th, 18 seconds down though, so it's not exactly a great time. However, Ineos is 16 seconds clear of second place. We're only 2 seconds shy of second place at the first checkpoint. Let's see. Just had a little tougher section with a little uphill. The whole first section was flat. So we're going to have some downhill and then uphill again. And And I think we're doing just fine for the numbers that we're going to need to have, especially with Bevan taking a nice long turn on the front right now. It's going to help our time. Pushing 99 does not seem to be an issue at all. This is now going to be more about resting some guys that are just not so good. Like Van Avermaet, just, you're terrible on the time trial, so we're going to just cut you down to no time. Thanks, Zach. I have no idea how you are. Let's shorten your time. Acorn, not great. We'll shorten you a little bit. There we go. Coming up, second checkpoint. See how we're doing. We've slipped to 6th. And we're still 6th here, but we've lost just 12 seconds. But of course, there's still 2 more teams that slid in between us. But it's all still in that same range. Look how close it is between 2nd and 9th. Just 3 seconds separating those teams. That is incredibly close. Now, things open up a bit more. We are still within 1 second, 2 seconds really, of 4th through 8th. Still a really close battle here as we approach the end. Patty Bevan, give me your, everything, could you? I haven't even lost any teammates, so. Acorn, get out the front. Okay, hey, we moved up a little bit. 4th place, 37 seconds at the finish. Still a couple teams behind us to go. But we've definitely overcome some of the teams, and we're up there. Not a fantastic time. Movistar just crossed line in 6th. Next up is UAE. They're well off the pace. Lotto Sudal, they've been up there, 4th and 3rd. They got Campin Arts leading them today. And it does slot us down a spot. They go 8 seconds clear of where we're at. 37 seconds behind Ineos does hurt. But we did move up. We were behind Movistar. We end up ahead of them. And outside of Ineos, really, we're definitely within reach of everybody else. But Ineos with a fantastic time. Egan Bernal loses two seconds. That hurts for them, but they've got Froome here. They've got Kwiatkowski, Van Barle, Bernal, and Ghana. That is a strong, strong team to Paris-Nice here. Sunweb, De Boulogne, Casebowl, Craig Anderson. Not too worried about the Lotto Sudal team. They don't look necessarily suited to this race. Marc Soler for Jumbo Visma, Rowan Dennis, Tony Martin. But again, most of them we should be able to overcome. So the main competitors at the front, Dumoulin, Froome, and Bernal. Kana's not quite there. Kwiatkowski, not quite there. He'll be in a sport role. Whoa, hello. Bennert. An 80 in the mountains. That guy's leveled up really quick. Kamna is going to be up there. Craig Anderson, yeah, not so much. He'll be the hills. You need mountain ratings for Paris-Nice. Alright, well, first stage in the books, and kind of looking at third place at best. Maybe with the deficit we have already, maybe it's going to be closer to kind of squeaking out a top 5 at this point. But it's early, and time can be won or lost in large quantities. Stage 2 here is technically a sprint stage, but with that little categorized climb near the end, it could thin the field out, but I don't expect it to. So we're going to head straight to stage 3. 45 kilometers left, plenty of time to go. We're about to hit the one and only sprint point of the day, but the 9 riders in the breakaway have already surpassed that point. They're still over a minute ahead. You can just see them at the edge of the screen here as they're going up the third climb of the day and the middle climb. It's category 2. We have 2 climbs following this, including in category 1, 7.3% average grading. That'll be the next climb. That's going to split this field up a bit. Right now, most of the peloton is together. We have just a handful of riders off the back. My full team is still here, but you can see Hermans, Frank Zach are nearing the end of their time. Hermans is on that protection duty right now. And you can see he's just been dropped as he's got just that little bit of energy left. Campenard's in the break. Interesting place for him to be. Stefan Kuhn, Kalmajan are all up there. So that climb split the break, what's left of it. We'll lose a little bit of time to the front runner as they were attacking. So it's out to almost 2 minutes. So Frank Shack's out the back. Hermans, Inkhorn, Rondags are all at their limit. So I'm really down to just Bevan and Van Avermaet, and they're both right up here with me. Bevan on protection, Van Avermaet doing something I don't necessarily care for, carrying on with the chase. 3 riders left at the front, Kalmajan, Rudy Millard, and Thomas de Gent. 3 very strong riders, but for a high prestige race like this, I can understand that you would have such a high profile breakaway. But here we go. Peloton already down to 64 because of the pace. And we're about to hit the category 1 climb. Now, maybe oh, there's Rondags. Inkhorn's too far back, but let's take everyone. And let's set 99. Inkhorn, let's set you back to auto. And we're gonna go like this. For this climb, I think we're looking at this being a little bit of a necessity. We're gonna come around this corner and start the climb. Rondags. Okay, he's done. Bevan has a good hill rating, so he should be able to push pretty well here for a little bit of time, get some decent pace. And Avermaet, hang in there, buddy. Now, I'm not trying to break away from the group, anything like that. Just maintain a decent position. So we're going to slow it down a little bit here. And Avermaet, his turn, 21k to go. Almost to the top. Use just this little bit of energy. We're going to pick up some mountain points here. And Peloton's down to 40 riders. And Avermaet still here, has a chance to recover. But he's hanging on just at the back. He will hang on to the base of the climb, but I don't think he's going to really have any sort of energy left for this final climb. It will come down to a minor sprint because this category 3, I'm not even sure what about it is categorized. You can see there's not actually any climb here. It's just a slight, gentle uphill.
Only 15 kilometers left. Fall in the pack. Apparently, the leader is on the ground.
36 now. Roglic just involved in a fall. This could cost him his race this late. I'm not certain that he was here in this group, but our numbers shrunk, so I'm assuming he was.
We've just learned of a fall. Let's hope that all riders will get up quickly.
Oh, there's Van Avermaet. Tempted to have a little go, but at the same time, I think I need to just go for the sprint. I've got the acceleration. It's a 77 today, but the sprint's only a 59. So I will very much need to be in that lead position to get a decent finish today. Any chance of a top 3. Agnes Kort Nielsen making the first acceleration, but he sits up. There's the banner. I want the banner. I'd like to pick up the points again. I'm actually in the KOM, so there you go. 9K to go. 37 riders. Just about flat from here. Speed it up for a moment here. We are down to 6K. Use the gel. And Avermaet has recovered a little bit, so I will be able to get a little bit of a lead out for this. But I need to wait till late. Now, if I gently go forward first with him on protection, it's going to actually save him a little bit. There you go, his heart rate's higher than mine, but now what I can do is restructure this. So we'll get the follow, put him on, and now we'll start using him. Get him to transcend himself a bit. Last a little bit longer, 2K to go. Okay, giving me his lead out. There we go. Now I'm going to come over the top, just inside 1K. Now the sprint. Here come the actual sprinters. I know I'm too slow. I was hoping for a top 3, maybe just squeaking it out. Not happening. Mathieu van der Poel for the win. Roglic came back. He gets 3rd. Bernal, Craig Anderson, Galopin, Geraint Thomas. I get 12th. Definitely a select group. Big names there. There's only a few. Not so much. Kim Rayner. I'll have to take a look, see what their ratings are like. I don't know if that's a regen or if that's just a young rider who, after 3 seasons now in game, is starting to come up through the ranks. They've got to be at least somewhat decent climbing and certainly capable as a sprinter. The only way you beat Van der Poel head-to-head is have a 300-kilometer world championship in the pouring rain that destroys half the field before you get within the final 100K. And then have a small break that he has to chase down himself and catch. And then just flat out hit empty. 12K before the finish. That's the only way you beat Mathieu van der Poel. These guys will likely get same time, but the rest will not. We'll see if Van Avermaet is given same time. He is. Yeah, last man of the group. So 37 riders. Everybody else losing a minute and a half or more. That will definitely reshape the field. And it does. Van Avermaet and I both into the top 10 now. Ineos still all over the front end of those top 5. That's crazy. Dumoulin, Craig Anderson, and Conrad the others. So field is beginning to thin after 3 stages. We're also seeing other contenders emerge from the group behind us after that first stage. But I'll have the KOM up to 3rd in the under 25s. Wow, 3 points? Okay. Boss doesn't seem to care that I have the KOM jersey at all. That's okay. I can cry another time. So we have another stage coming up here, stage 4, that is quite punchy, but I would argue this is very close to being mountainous, with back-to-back Cat 1s, one of them being quite large, and then a couple Cat 2s and a Cat 1, and then, yes, I know the finish is just a simple Cat 3, and it's not much of a finish on that, but I would think on the relentless middle set of climbs, those 5 climbs back to back to back to back, is going to destroy most of the field, especially that final Category 1. I would imagine by the time we get to that climb, we're going to have a very select group of riders, probably smaller than what we just had in the last stage. And then we could be down to 10 or fewer riders by the time we get over the top of that. How many times will riders get back onto the front group after being dropped, though? That'll decide this stage a lot. If the group is continually doubling or tripling in size on the descents, that's going to keep this stage going a lot longer. 106 kilometers here on the 4th stage of Paris-Nice. First Category 1 is behind us, but the relentless group of climbs and the length of the climbs is all about to hit. Breakaway is 15 riders. They were out to almost 6 minutes, and already on that last climb and on the descent, we started pulling back time, and they're down to 2.5 minutes already. So that time really came down quick. I expect there to be some pace in the group. But Rondags, you're supposed to be providing it. Can you actually get up there and do that? I'd like to start seeing this field. Based on my mountain ratings, I would like to see this field thinned before we get to that final climb. So it is going to take some riders going out the back, which means there's got to be some guys working hard at the front. Rondags, he's going to be one of them. 4 riders out the back so far. Speed things up for a little while. We've got a long ways to go. We just went under 100k. But he's thinned the field, down to 120. Oh, he's done. And a lot of riders are tired. Down to 14 in the break. We've caught a few guys already. And there's the rest of them. There's still too many up there. They're going to claim all the points. If I want to keep the KOM, I'm going to need some strong over-the-top climb finishes over the coming climbs, because I am now 18 points behind Calmejean, and I would imagine Calmejean's going to still be there. I would imagine Calmejean's in those front 2 groups. Alright, well, Peloton down to 76, so Rondags did his job. It was one climb, and we were able to drop half the Peloton. Okay, my recovery will be complete soon. Bevan, Hermans, Inkhorn not doing too well. Van Avermaet's doing fine, but he's the one rider on the team that I'm not in control of today. He is giving... He has been given the freedom of Baradur, late Baradur, to try to go for the stage. And that makes sense. 18 riders close to making contact. It's a smaller peloton, so they're not just off the back, but they're definitely not far off the back. But we're just about to start that next climb, so doubt they're going to catch us. Alright, who's it going to be this time? Inkhorn. Less recovery as well. Bevan, I want you to stay put. Alright, we're about to reel in a big chunk of the breakaway.
The pack is putting the squeeze on the breakaway. There's a sustained rhythm at the moment. Some riders...
And now we're down to just 5 riders off the front. In terms of points, though, I think they get all the points. Yes. Placings for 1 through 5. And they're still a minute and a half away. Inkhorn done. Peloton actually larger than it was, meaning he hasn't shattered anyone because we picked up the breakaway riders. Hermans, Bevan aren't really looking strong enough to do anything. We're almost over the top. Why don't I take up the reins for a second? Up the tempo here.
Attack in the group at the front.
Coming up on the top. Okay, that did thin the field a little bit. We got it down to 65. So we dropped, what, 15 riders? And I'll see a fair amount of recovery before this next climb. And I won't necessarily do the same thing on the next one, unless I have the energy for it. But the last climb's definitely much longer. The category 1. I'll talk about that category 3. At this point, I'm not even really counting that one at all. The next 2 climbs will ultimately decide this. And this peloton is a bit large right now. Very large for my ambitions. That last climb is where I intend to go myself. And since I'm not quite fully recovered here, I do not want to attack on this one and have any less energy before we go into the next one. So we're going to look to just hold our position. Hope that some riders are dropped. AG2R pulling at the front. Ineos. There's the 4 riders that we're down to. So there are points available now at the top. Boy, I do not have a ton of energy though. With stamina and resistance today that are on the high end. 50 riders and shrinking. Van Avermaet now in position to help. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back off. Help me out here. 34 riders. We're nearly to the top. No, it's still 1.5K to go. Sliding backwards. Come on, don't get dropped. 29 riders. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. But we're gonna ease off here. 29 riders. Sprint point, 3 seconds. I'd love it, but we don't have the energy. It's crazy how much that climb hurt me. We should have been just fine going over that. But welcome to the World Tour. Caleb Ewan, Cornelissen, Vanderpool going for the points. And they're the top 3, so that makes sense. But here we go. Category 1 climb. And I'm hurting. Oh, so weird. We're going to use Van Avermaet's transcending themselves here. Make them a little bit stronger. 26 riders. 24 riders were immediately dropping riders. People didn't recover on that descent. Yeah, I didn't really either. I'm going to wait until Van Avermaet starts to fade, which is already kind of happening. We still have 5k to go to the top. I need to use my gel here very soon. Luckily, there's no pace at the moment. Let's speed it up for now. Nobody attacking. Hopefully it stays that way. I'd rather have a group of 24 than myself end up possibly being dropped here. So gel has kicked in, already been used. Van Avermaet's still here. And now he's starting to fade. But see how slowly? He's just a wheel behind me. So, wait! There's the top. I want the points. There we go. Back up into second. 11 points down on Kalmajan. But that cost me nothing. Alright, well this group of 24 should see the finish line together. Speed things up for a little bit on the descent. Plenty of time to recover. Even Van Avermaet is already coming along strongly. That's not much of a climb. Yeah. So all we need to do is up our effort level just in case. We're going to go ×2.
Another attack. This time it could go all the way.
Okay, we're just kind of sitting here comfortably right now. Okay, next little acceleration. Counter that. Sit up. Here we go again. Van Avermaet, I want you to get behind me, please. Okay, a little bit faster. Or go over second to Geraint Thomas. Only picked up 2 points.
There's now just 10 kilometers left.
I only picked up 2 points. Oh, okay, yeah, that's second. 4, 2, and 1. Alright, one last little climb right here. It's not going to do anything except Gegenhardt, Latour, and Thomas deciding that they are going to go for it. We're going to go 95 here. Just realized that Van Avermaet's still behind me. But he does not have much energy, so if he is going to be available to help me with the final sprint, I need him to still be alive and not get buried right now. So there's one rider out the back. Attack's still coming. Pierre Latour.
We're into the last 5 kilometers.
And this is not going as planned. 3 riders have gotten away. Bennett, Roglic, Latour, and then Carapaz as well. But I need to sit up and reverse roll here. Transcend yourself for a second time if you would please, sir. There you go. So now we've got 19 chasing 4. And it's downhill. Come on, 2k to go. We've lost 18 seconds to these guys.
And the final sprint is off. Who's going to be the first of the line today?
Okay, here we go to the sprint. I'm leading that sprint at the moment, but I'm not a sprinter. So here comes Alaphilippe, who is. Latour takes the win over Carapaz, Roglic, and Bennett. We finished 16 seconds behind Alaphilippe. I do take the next best, which is 6th, from Thomas, Conrad, and Burrow, and Moulin in 11th. Not a bad result other than that we lost a little bit of time to those guys, unfortunately. 16 seconds plus time bonuses for Latour, Carapaz, and Roglic. That hurts a little bit on a stage like this. I was a little surprised at how quickly my energy faded with those bonuses that I had on these last two climbs here, that I thought for sure I would be just fine over them. I mean, I figured by the time we'd hit the top of the category 1 that I'd be pretty fatigued. But it was the previous climb, right? That just destroyed myself. And yet there were still 20-something riders there. Still 24 riders over the top of that. That was the surprising piece. That if I was feeling like that, with the condition and the climbing ability that I have, how were others still hanging in there?
We've selected the following highlights for you.
There's the highlight. It's the motorbike. The motorbike for the victory. Ooh, they gave us same time. I am so sorry to the top 4. They really should have gotten a 16-second bonus. They didn't. So the top 3 still get the time bonuses for the placing. But then that's it. So 23 make it to the end. Gallipan was the one who was dropped in between there. Now that's going to change things up a little bit. We still have 4 Ineos riders at the top step. Dumoulin, Conrad, and then Van Avermaet and I in 7 and 8. Carapaz now up to 9th. And time gaps are going to quickly open after Thomas in 18th. Boy, right now I'm guessing he might be a little sad that he's not riding for Ineos, where he could be in the top 5. Assuming that time loss was the time trial, team time trial, at the start of the race. We're down to 18 riders in contention. And really, considering who you've got at the top and just behind, and really throughout the top 10, you gotta say that once you get past about a minute down, you're done. That still only eliminates a few more guys, but stage 5 is where the real climbing begins. Back-to-back Cat 1s plus an additional one at the finish where you really have one long continuous climb there. That is going to be a small finish, and it's not going to be a bunch. We're probably going to have a solo rider or 2 or 3 by the end of this stage. Stage 6, back to the punchy ones. That's going to be a small group finish. Stage 7's flat. And stage 8 is another time trial. So 32K solo? Yes, solo time trial. So the real deciding stage is the next one, stage number 5, which we're going to be opening our next episode with. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.